16-year-old Elle Gianelli loves Starbucks. 16-year-old Elle Gianelli loves wearing silly socks. So the teen started Socks for Seniors to raise money for bright patterned socks, which she delivers with thoughtful notes to those in assisted living facilities.
We got some fun little colorful ice creams, some bananas.
Back in 2020, amid the pandemic, Elle was concerned about how residents were doing without activities or visitors. So to cheer them up, she began sprinkling packages locally around her hometown of Stockton, California. She's now reached facilities in 40 states and won't stop till she hits all 50. Go Elle!
So again, if you're listening to our broadcast for the first time, please like, subscribe, share if it's on the podcasting realm. If you are listening to us on one of the radio stations, we appreciate that. As obviously you can't like, share, and subscribe on the radio, but we do appreciate our listeners that are doing that. We have an amazing person on. She's got an amazing story to tell, as everybody does, but we found this person on, and she's going to introduce herself in just a second, and what she's done to help a lot of senior citizens throughout COVID and even up till now, with socks. And we're going to go through that. I know that sounds probably weird to people listening and watching, but we're going to get into the story why that is prevalent to the conversation. To now, Elle Gianelli, she's out of California. Elle, first of all, thanks so much for coming on. Greatly appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about this. So for people that never heard about you, before we get into the socks conversation, tell them a little bit about you before.
So I am 16 years old. I am a sophomore at St. Mary's High School in the Stockton area. I play golf as my main sport and hopefully take that on with me in college. So that's a little bit about me.
So what are you shooting for your golf game right now before we get into the main conversation?
So my handicap is a 7.4, which is pretty good for my age. Right. 18 holes. Usually I'm around upper 70s and lower 80s.
Wow, that's pretty good. Good for you.
Thank you.
I would probably shoot 150, but that's me. Anyways, that's why I stick to putt or mini golf, whatever the listeners want to call it. That's what I stick to. But that's me. Anyways, we'll move forward into this. So you did talk a little bit about yourself. Talking about Socks for Seniors. Tell the audience a little bit about that, how it got started in general.
So in maybe around the end of 7th grade, my school went on a field trip to a senior facility and we made spring wreaths with them. And it was only for probably an hour. And that small hour of doing something so simple as little spring wreaths was literally brightened their whole day. And that was right before COVID hit. And I was just thinking to myself, what could these people possibly be doing in these facilities? Because it's on lockdown pretty much. Yeah. And my favorite thing ever, as I didn't mention yet, but I love silly socks and they bring a great smile to my face. I wear them on the golf course. People know me for them. And so I thought, you know what? I always wanted to make a change, make a difference, as most people do, but I wanted to do it with something that I feel comfortable with and what makes me smile, so hopefully it'll make others. And so we've been to probably just around 78 facilities, 48 states out of the 50. Let's go. And many more to come.
So let's go back and kind of flush this out. So you've been to 78 facilities around the country. Did you personally go, or are you just sending the socks there, just so people listening know?
So the ones that are around me, I obviously go and try and hand them out. And some people, they are still super scared about COVID and you just have to drop them off. But some facilities will let you walk in, take pictures. I mean, I've had to eat breakfast with them.
Oh, wow,
it's a whole thing when you're able to. And basically these packages that I give them They look a little bit like this.
Mhm.
And it comes with a personalized letter and my contact information and a silly pair of socks, just in case if they're feeling a little bored or just want a pen pal in general. I get these beautiful cards and I have so many little friends now.
So talk about the socks. Now, are the socks pre-made by someone else? Do you make them personally? How does all that happen?
So we found a really great seller who well, they make really nice socks for not the priciest amount, because as a non what's the word? Okay, whatever.
It's
But
okay.
we don't get paid, so it's like charitable, right? And so money adds up, costs add up. So our GoFundMe is definitely something that we really look forward to, because that means we get to go to more facilities, we get to buy more shipments, obviously, and basically, yeah.
So how is this? I know you do this with your mom. You know, how is that relationship? Obviously, it's your mom. You guys, I'm sure, are pretty close. But regardless of that, has that relationship, I guess I'll frame it in this way, kind of developed even closer because you guys are always doing this together, and it's obviously bringing a smile onto these elderly people's faces, but it's also bringing a smile onto your mom and your face too.
Yeah, my mom and I, we didn't always like get along. We never really spent much time together. And when this started, we obviously became closer because we are working right next to each other. We are putting these packages together, sealing them up. And obviously, I think our relationship has grown into a way reasonable amount. And I think she just sees another side of me that without the socks and without the wanting to change something, maybe turned her to be like, she's going somewhere. Like she's headed in the right direction.
Sure.
So,
Well, that's great. It's nice that that relationship's kind of rekindled and got a lot better as the time moves on. Again, for people just listening, this is Elle Gianelli. You can find more about her, and we're going to talk about where people can donate, but it is called Seniors for Socks. And, you know, you can look on that as far as GoFundMe. We're going to, get those, excuse me, I apologize for that. We'll edit that out. You can go into these websites, which we're going to give out in just a minute, to donate, to help out. You can follow her on social media. We're going to give all that out in just a moment. As we keep moving into this conversation now, you talked about the deliveries. So obviously you're in California, you're 16, you're going to high school. I'm sure your mom is working. You can't be in 48 out of the 50 states that you've, worked in as far as helping these seniors all the time. You can go to the ones close by. How does all the delivery stuff work? Because that can kind of get expensive too. I know you depend on the GoFundMe, but how does all that work too?
yeah. So basically, when I am in school, I don't get to work on it as much as I'd like to, only because of school and sports and stuff.
Yeah.
But I try and get at least a few packages a month because, as you said, it does add up. It is very pricey, especially when they're having like 150 residents. So that's 150 pairs of socks, and they can only fit in such a big box. And then the weight adds to it. But genuinely, we've been really lucky with our donations within the last couple of months. And if we could just keep that coming, that would be absolutely amazing, because we are hitting more facilities and helping more residents. And yeah, I think maybe a couple months ago, we were offered to go to Hollywood. We went to this big facility, and we got to actually hand out socks. So it was like not around me. So I got to go there, and I think that was really fun.
So Elle, talk about the reception of the kids at school that are your friends. Maybe they're not your friends. Regardless of that, how is the reception with somebody like you at your age? Obviously, you're doing great work, which we appreciate. and people are bringing notoriety to the great work you're doing on the news and on podcasts in general. With that said, how has the reception been at school with teachers and students in general?
So for me, I think some people around my grade and maybe the people that I'm around that like aren't so close to me, they might think it's a little strange, but I totally get it because I'm a 16-year-old girl. Like I don't know. They think it's a little strange. Obviously my close friend group's like so proud, but mainly my teachers are the ones that come up to me, even the ones that I don't even know. They'll just be like, oh my God, I saw you were in the magazine. Like, yes.
Well, People Magazine is a big magazine. I'm in Florida right now, and we saw you in the magazine and we reached out. And again, we're grateful for you to do this interview. Just moving on, going towards the end of the interview, as far as this goes, what do you hope people that are listening to this interview, whatever age group they're in, whether they are younger than in their 20s and 30s, if they're in my age group in their 20s and 30s, or even older, as far as the elderly people listening, what do you hope they get out of this interview?
I have a couple things, but mainly it's like for me, I was always that shy, kind of stay by myself type of person. And with this, it kind of made me grow into a more confident person. So if you ever have like the chance or you want to help and go and help people, I say you do it and you take that chance because it has completely changed my life and changed me as a person in a totally, completely amazing way. So if you have the option to make a difference, take a change, take a big step, then I think you should really go for it.
I know we have a lot of millennials and young people listening to this podcast, to this on the radio too. And we do our elderly listeners, which I'm very grateful for, because I like the older people that listen, because they definitely are going to listen more so than people my age and younger. They're not always the guaranteed listeners. So, for everybody listening, regardless of what age or anything you are, we just hope that you do, take Elle's example, go out, volunteer, help people in general. This is a time of, people are scared, in plain English. COVID-19, I know it's gotten a lot better. We're thankful for that throughout the years. But also there's a lot of scary stuff with the economy and political unrest in this country. So let's just try to help one another and follow someone like Elle that's doing amazing work for the community. Go out and do some yourself, volunteer, donate, whatever aspect you can do. So Elle, as we go to the end here, can you tell people how they can help out your cause today?
So obviously GoFundMe is amazing. It helps us get all our socks, our shipments, our paper printing. You can also DM me on Instagram and just see like what you can do. You can also even sock donations. Those are incredibly amazing. Paper adds up. But mainly sock donations and GoFundMe, just because sometimes, we just try and like it our way, and so when something that's donated and maybe it's a little different, it's like we have to fix up the whole process, Yeah,
I got to recalibrate this because I want to ask you this question. We're going to put this in the middle of the interview. So let's talk about this. You spoke, let me do a little break there. Okay, just so I can edit it. So Elle, you spoke about when you send them a letter also along with the socks. What do you write in that letter? Obviously, these people have, could have been, and throughout COVID, they were sitting in there alone. They couldn't even see people, which is very sad and scary. People died alone. You don't want to get into all that. But regardless of that, what do you write in that letter when you are sending the socks to the people that are living in these facilities?
So we have this letter, and actually it's like right here. And it kind of tells us what our organization is, what we do, what we're trying to accomplish. So right now we're trying to accomplish the 50 states. And then it also tells them a little bit about me, how to help, and where to go. And it also has a little picture, my contact information, and just things about me that helped me start this little, mission.
So, Elle, what are the 2 states that you're missing so far? You've said 48 states you've,
Yes.
dealt with so far. There's 2 states left. What are they?
I think they are Hawaii and Mississippi.
Okay. Very interesting. Well, Hawaii's very far away, but
Yeah.
Mississippi's a little bit closer. So hopefully you can hit both of those states
Yeah.
fairly soon. You spoke about as far as donations. People can go to the GoFundMe. I just want to, state the website for the people listening. It's GoFundMe.com/help socks for seniors. Again, GoFundMe.com/help socks for seniors. You can also type in, obviously, on Google, Elle's name. It's ELLEGIANELLI. And you'll find more about her, the mission in general. But definitely, if you can help out and throw a couple of bucks, help them out. They're doing amazing work. Her mom and her, as far as that, sorry, I got tongue tied. We'll edit that out. But Elle, as we go to the end, we did state the GoFundMe. You talked about where people can find you on social media as far as Instagram. Can you give people the Instagram name as far as that goes so people can follow you if they'd like on Instagram?
So our Instagram and our Facebook is the same. It's socks, SOCKS, 4, the number 4, and seniors, SENIORS. And that's all one word.
Okay, so again, for people listening, we'll recap this one more time. It is GoFundMe.com. Again, for that, and it's Help Socks for Seniors on GoFundMe.com, Help Socks for Seniors, and then Socks for Seniors Instagram, Socks for Seniors Facebook. Elle, as we go to the end, anything else you'd like to express to the viewers before we end this conversation today?
I think that's just about it. I think you covered everything. Thank you.
All right. Well, Elle, hold on. Again, Elle Gianelli here on Fire Breathing Rob. Elle, thanks so much for coming on. Greatly appreciated. I do hope people donate to your cause, and maybe we'll have you on again down the road to see how you're doing. And hopefully you guys are accomplishing even more than you have so far, because you guys are doing amazing work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right. Just give me 1 second.